search
Oh,
and
yeah.
graduate school applications.
Yeah, this is Career Coach 101 here.
Yeah.
This is like you were in it.
It's important to know that you can use those skills and not only use those, but a tip is that you can put that on your resume. So having that connection to yourself and to your family. Hello and welcome to Career View Mirror. I'm your host, Joyel Crawford, and today's very special guest is Kelly Meerbott. Kelly Meerbott is a renowned, successful leader, transformational business coach, leadership and team developer, and speaker and facilitator. She has been transforming America's top CEOs' personal and professional lives and handcrafted profitable business strategies for thousands of corporations worldwide. With her holistic approach and her background in sales, marketing, and business building insights, Kelly's coaching and training sessions are the secret weapons to every seeker of fulfillment and success. She works alongside Fortune 500 companies like Virgin America, McDonald's, Walt Disney World, Sony Records, and Anytime Fitness, as well as niche and boutique businesses like the Ritz-Carlton of Palm Beach, the British Tourism Authority, Hazelden Addiction Treatment Center, and Universal Studios. Welcome, 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 Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so, every time I hear my bio read, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah. I think as you get older, you're like, you know, they say the memory's first to go. Yeah, definitely. So, but I'm thrilled to be here. So, I'm ready when you are.
Yes, I'm ready to dive in. Yeah. So one of my favorite questions to ask guests is, what experience inspired you to be a coach?
Deployed to Guantanamo Bay, working with the 9/11 detainees, and I couldn't get a hold of him. So I went home and literally cried and grieved for 7 days. And I remember our golden retriever, who was alive at the time, put her head in my lap, and I know I'm humanizing her, but I swear she looked at me like, okay, mom, you stink, because I hadn't showered.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get off the couch except to feed the dogs and go to the bathroom and let them out. I cried a lot, did the whole why me, poor me, all that stuff. And then when our dog did that, I was like, she looked at me like, you got to put your big girl panties on and let's go. And yeah, so I got in the shower and I remember I was washing my hair and what came in my mind, Joyel, was I want to do something more life affirming with my life, but I don't know what that is. And I literally had read back in 2000, Steve Chandler's book, 100 Ways to Create Wealth. Mm-hmm. So I had known about him. He's a success coach. They call him the godfather of coaching. He's written 40 best-selling books, coaches Fortune 500 companies, you name it. So I went on his website and I bought this 12-disc CD set that was a success course, and it was called Mind Shift. And with it, you got a 90-minute coaching session with a coach who literally held up a mirror to me and showed me where my gaps and blind spots were. And I frankly wasn't ready to see it. I was in a victim mentality. I was like, that's their fault and blah, blah, blah. And here's 25 pages of evidence on why they're wrong and blah, 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 blah. And she looked at me, or she said to me on the phone, she said, I think you're a victim and you need to take ownership of your life. And I said a few profane words and hung up on her. And then I sat at my desk, at the desk I'm sitting at now, but this was in Virginia. And there were two questions that floated into my mind, because I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that the universe, God, whatever your belief is, puts us in pain in order to get us to shift, right? So I hadn't suffered enough in corporate. I needed like somebody to fire me in order for me to leave, because I was sick. I was physically sick. I would throw up every day before work, like all kinds of issues. And so when I'm on this phone call and I hang up on her, the two questions that floated in my mind were, is there truth to what she's saying? And is she right? And both answers came back yes. And I looked at my watch and realized I had another 45 minutes on this 90-minute call. I called her back and we worked together for 3.5 years. And she kept pushing me to be a coach. She thought I would be a great coach. And she was right. You know, she was right. Yeah. And so that was January of 2009. And I've been doing it ever since. And I'm proud to say that this business was built on word of mouth and referral.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Find the same thing. And I think what you said was really profound about the pain pushing you to the next step. We all have pain stories, but sometimes we sit and we marinate in that misery instead of catapulting it, looking at it and reflecting on it, and also receiving that feedback that you got from that coach about, is this true? And, is there, what can I do about it? That having that accountability really helped you push that onto other people and have that gift. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really amazing. And like what I think of when I hear you say using it as a launch pad into something else, Jimmy Iovine, who's he created Beats, he was the head of Interscope Records. Like he's amazing. Discovered Dr. Dre. He always says you can use challenges as a headwind or a tailwind. So, and I put it another way with my clients, and sometimes they get mad. I'm like, have you suffered enough yet? And they look at me, and some of these 3-star generals that I'm working with in the military will give me that, like, who the F are you to ask that question? And then I'll follow it up by saying, I know in my own life, if I haven't suffered enough, I'm not changing anything.
Right. I think there's so much, it's not the beginning or the end of the change that does us in, it's that messy middle. And that's really what gets us through it. It's not like grief, we can't just get over grief. We've got to get through it. And that's just amazing that you were able to hear her, listen, actually take a step back and go, you know what? Yeah, it's time for me to really take the hard look at myself. And now in turn, you're giving it back. You're paying it forward and helping others take a hard look at themselves and being the best leaders they can be.
Yes. And one of the things that resonated with me when I met you, Joyel, is that I feel like you and I both leverage the mistakes that we've made in our lives to help others. So when I'm talking to people about whether it's transitioning out of the military into the quote unquote real world, or finding a new job, or how can you be the best executive director, it's really, okay, let me tell you a story from my own life. And that's not to egoically impress my beliefs on them. It's to share information so that they can make the best decision for themselves. Because, you and I were talking about the myths about coaching and what it is and what it isn't. Number one, it's not therapy.
No.
It's not consulting. It's not psychiatry. It's none of that. For me, what I see coaching as is turning up the volume on what's amazing about the person in front of me and pointing out the distraction and noise that's blocking them from reaching their fullest potential. And I do that, and I'm going to pull a line from the military, but I do that not by judging them, not by telling them what to do, not by going full metal jacket on them. Like, I don't do that. I really just kind of try to demonstrate stories through my own life and through my clients' lives that I have permission to tell, to give them the best information to make the best decision for what's going on in their lives. And if along our journey, we encounter a fire in our path, I'm going to say, Joyel, grab my arm, sister. We're walking through together, and I'm going to show you how you're fireproof.
Oh, I love that. Show you how you're fireproof. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Any tips be for, I know a lot of people, it's so noisy out there with all the coaches that are out there, and how to differentiate ourselves. What kind of tips would you give to somebody who's looking to pursue this career path of coaching?
Understand it's not about you, but it is about you. Meaning you've got to come face to face, toe to toe with all your demons. So you don't bring that in and project it on your client. Right. I think you really find a program that is not just tactical, meaning like building rapport with the client, confidentiality, blah, 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 blah. But something with a practical component to it that helps you build your business, which is one of the things I take issue with a lot of these certification programs is they'll certify you and I as being coaches, Joyel, but then they'll go, oh, you're done. Have fun building your business. Bye. And it's like, these people either are just coming out of college or early professionals, or have occupied the C-suite for so long that they've had everybody do everything for them and they have no idea how to build a business. And I think a lot of coaches are suffering out there. Mm-hmm. So I would say pick a program that really has a business building component to it and aligns with you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, because all of those realms play a role in how you show up as a leader. It contributes to who you're being, guiding what you're doing. So you got to take care of yourself first. Number one, first and foremost, you always take care of yourself first. And then you model that example for your clients.
Mm-hmm. And, sometimes you have to take a step back and do the work for yourself. I have a therapist,
Me too.
all about taking time out. I took my first vacation, like 2-week vacation this year. And it was, yes. And I went to St. Thomas and it was fantastic. And I'm taking another one. I'm taking a summer vacation, like heal my brain, like from helping. You give so much. So it is so important that you said, help yourself first. And there is a business building component to it, because you get your certification and you're like, now what? So and leveraging, I think, also professional organizations, like different local organizations. There are free things out there too. Do you belong to any type of organization that helps push you along or lead you along? I belong to a couple, but I just want to know what I
don't right now. I mean, I have over the years. I just don't have the energetic bandwidth to bring to an organization right now. You know what I mean? With everything I have going on. And that was something else that I was thinking as a tip is emotional regulation and energy management, making sure that you're emotionally regulated, so that you're not projecting those wounds onto your client, which I said before. But the energy management is like, if I was part of an organization that would push me along, right? I don't have the energetic bandwidth right now to put 110% into it.
Absolutely.
So no, I'm not part right now. I am a member of WeBank, which is the Women Business Enterprise Network Council, which certifies women-owned businesses. And I'm also a member of the board of PHL Diversity, which is the Diversity Congress of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. But those two really, they don't really do much for my business. I'm just there to kind of serve and be part of the community when I can be. So, but I do have a psychiatrist that I see every other week, and I do have coaches that I work with for me to be a better coach. And I'm constantly enrolling in courses if I don't know about things. And the great thing about the pandemic is a lot of these courses went online, and I've been able to take a ton at the Arizona Trauma Institute, which is a fantastic organization for anybody who wants to do trauma work or have some kind of trauma language or framework. They're fantastic. I love them. So, I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. And I have one of my favorite questions to ask.
Okay.
I know time is running short. I feel like we just started. I feel like
we just started,
and I'm like, oh, I got to get this question in here. But
yeah, we'll have to do a part 2. Go ahead.
We're just going to have to.
Yeah.
If you could share 1 or 2 career or leadership tips with the younger you, what would they be?
Don't take anything personally.
Because
things people do or say has nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of their inner mind. Don't take it personally. And the second thing is let your work speak for itself. You don't have to be there. I know we're in a world of I feel like we're obsessed with the exceptional when sometimes the average is just as beautiful or just as valuable. Not everybody's gonna, I don't know, go on a race for 12 weeks and win $1 million. Like life is not like that, so let your work speak for itself and you will get noticed, so those are the two things I probably would tell my younger self amongst other things. But yeah,
I like that advice because I think both of those carry so well if we could just keep that tape going on in our brains. One other piece I wanted to share with you and our audience is that I'm not only a professional stalker, but I'm also a mini hoarder. And one thing, when we met many years ago at a networking opportunity, it was like a brunch or something out in the main line. You gave me a card.
You matter. Are you kidding me? I love that. Yes, that's so
card.
I love that.
You matter.
Yes.
And I keep it on my desk to keep thinking about that. So I think that's another little tip that Kelly gave to the younger me that I keep repeating to myself, is that you matter. It's such a key piece. And thank you. You matter, Kelly.
Thank you. Well,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so touched that you helped. And there are so many people I've met over the years that have said, I still have that card, or, I had major surgery in December and I decided to give those out to every person I interacted with in like the hospital for 2 days. And it just changes everybody. And like that's another thing I would say is there's never been a Joyel before. There's never going to be another one again, ever. So leverage everything that's unique and talented and all those beautiful gifts that come inside you to contribute to the world, because it's cliche to say, but this is not a dress rehearsal. You're not getting another run through.
Nope.
Not
as this person. I don't know what I'll be reincarnated as, but but this is it.
I keep saying I want to come back as our animals because they're so like they go to the vet more than we do. They have great food. I'm like, and if I could come back as my cat, I'd be really so.
Well, thank you so much for being on Career View.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it. And everyone, I'm going to be sharing some links on how you can learn more about Kelly and her business. Remember that you matter. And I will see all of you next time on Career View Mirror. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next time.